First off, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar yesterday described the decision by some opposition figures to insist on zoning the presidency to southern Nigeria ahead of the 2027 elections as self-defeating and intellectually dishonest, warning that competence and national unity should take precedence over regional considerations. In a statement by his spokesperson Olushola Sani, Atiku cautioned opposition political actors against the position that the 2027 presidential ticket must be zoned exclusively to the south.
In-depth analysis.
Please, I want your challenge. I know a lot of people will challenge the things I'll say because I'm going to be very brutal this morning. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar should stop being hypocritical. I beg, in the name of God. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, with a lot of respect to him, and I love him so much, says things only when they favor him. Is this not Atiku Abubakar that went to court against Jonathan in 2011 to ensure the PDP zoning formula? And his associates, MPLF, they went to court. His associates went to court. There were many court cases ensuring that they must insist. In fact, I think in one of the rulings, the court said, they can't assume jurisdiction and give a decision, but they acknowledged the fact that PDP had the zoning arrangements. So then, when he was going to court, when he was pushing then against Jonathan, zoning was not self-defeating, Abi. When he left Olusegun Obasanjo in 2007, that Jagaban zoned, what is it called, to the north for him, and he ran in that election, correct him if I'm wrong, against Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. Zoning was not a bad deal then. When they finally got their way in 2015 with the APC, and they said, because Jonathan reneged on the term, they were going to punish him. And they zoned the ticket to the APC in 2015. Zoning was good then. When he came back in 2019 to the PDP, and after they had cried, PDP has suffered from all he did in the last election, and they zoned the ticket to PDP then in 2019, zoning was good then. But when his own ambition holds sway, and people were saying, after zoning in 2019, they should zone back to the South 2023. He said, no, zoning is not good then, and he scattered the zoning agreement. I ask, please prove me wrong. Fact check me. I don't talk without facts. I like to talk with empirical facts. That's why they call me a man of facts. And please, bring your heat on. I'm ready. We are saying these things to save this country. On the 2nd of December 2010, zoning, we have been vindicated, Atiku. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has described last Tuesday's judgment a great victory for honesty and integrity and rebuke against arbitrariness. He reiterated that President Jonathan's decision to contest 2011 would send wrong signal to group and organization that painstakingly developed a constitution and ground rules to set operational guidelines. This was when they were fighting in favor of zoning. That power should have come to the north for them to finish the term. So, in other instances, when President Tinubu now gave him the right to run his own power at that time, there was no big deal about it then, right? No, why are we talking like this? Why are we always talking like this? You know, despite fighting Jonathan, he still went ahead and vied in the primaries against Jonathan before he was beaten and Jonathan emerged in 2011. Zoning was good when Atiku is fighting, when Atiku is on the ballot, when he wants to get it. Zoning is when zoning doesn't favor him, zoning is bad. Yeah. When zoning favors him, zoning is good. When it doesn't favor him, zoning is bad. The next arguments that they keep making, they say from 2019 to this time, power has gone more to the north. Yes, I accept the argument. Let me give you a counter argument. From 1960 to this time, fact check me, the north has ruled between 45 to 47 years. The south have ruled barely about 80 to 20 years. So should we ask that we want those 20 years back? That's the second argument. Please, people should stop saying this. You have your own ambition. And please, with due respect, since this Obi man has left, he has not abused, he has not attacked you. You people should let everything be. Go to the field and prove to Nigerians what you can do. All this attack and this talk about zoning. That's why I just have to put pay to it. And this is the only thing I'm going to say here today. Let it be on record. And that's why I went back historically. If you are talking competence, where you can't say Awolowo is not competent, you can't say Umahi is not competent. When Awolowo brought forward the Christian South ticket in 79, why did Nigerians look at competence on the ballots? Why were they talking about national spread? Let's call a spade, though. I just want reality. See, we all want competence, yes. Like you said rightly, until we get to that part. But as long as we still have this level of politicians that today, like Atiku Abubakar, when he's in 2011, when he's against them, they say it's a bad thing. They even tell the associate to go to court. But when he's in favor of them, they hold it. When it's not going to be against them, they scatter the party like they scatter with Wike. And that's why sometimes I want to hit and say, oh, Mr. Wike didn't do well, and hit the argument on Mr. Wike's head that no, you would have been a party man. But I'm also tied. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar ties me in the hand. Because when you look at it, Mr. Wike was right. He had a point. And it's that point Mr. Wike is proving that is being proven now. Today, Wike has been vindicated. Let's call a spade a spade. I don't agree with that man on anything, but the fight he made he's been vindicated. Wike is being vindicated today. Let's call a spade. When he doesn't favor us, zoning is defeatist. Whenever he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that.
Start with former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who says that it will be self-defeating and intellectually defeatist to say that the next president must come to the South, and that will work against the interests of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And in his own reckoning, that nobody has ever come from the same zone as the sitting incumbent president and then went ahead to win the election. The first question to ask is, one, why did he then, in 2019, on the platform of the PDP, seek to become president of Nigeria when the late President Buhari was in the saddle? So he didn't have that wisdom at that time. Second, he says he's self-defeating and intellectually defeatist. Well, where is that written in the Constitution? This whole idea of rotation is a sign of the underdevelopment of the Nigerian political process. I think the answer to that is that we should have a country where the best and the brightest persons of competence, people of great ability are the ones who become president. Even as a convention, this idea of north-south, there should be a sunset clause on it to say that those who are capable are the persons who should come and run for presidency. And as Dr. Kwankwanso pointed out in an interview on Arise News, the young people of Nigeria do not want people on the basis of religion and ethnicity. They want persons who are competent and who can provide quality leadership. And Dr. Kwankwanso is right on that score. We should move away from a situation whereby all kinds of flotsam and jetsams of the society are the ones who aspire to high office without having the necessary prerequisite qualifications. Number three is the argument by Waziri Adamawa that, the North has only had 10 years, the South has had 18 years at the top level since 1999. No, that argument is facetious. It shows sign of desperation. When President Musa Yar'Adua died, and in 2011, we had that situation where President Jonathan had to complete the term. Now, that completion of the term of President Yar'Adua that was talked about was in the Constitution. The Constitution says when the principal, falls because it's a joint ticket, the next person follows. Now, and it was an unusual situation. It was an accident of history. And I think it is disingenuous to act on that and say, I'm playing North-South politics. It could have happened to a Southerner too. If a Southern president were to die in office at any time, we will still say that the Constitution must be followed. So for a man who wants a position where he will swear an oath of office to say, I'm going to defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic, to now turn the same Constitution on its head for selfish reasons is something, in my view, that I think is condemnable. It was not President Jonathan that imposed himself on the people of Nigeria when President Yar'Adua died. The argument of civil society, which was well canvassed, was that the rule of law must be respected. So all of that argument is completely irrelevant, and whoever wrote that statement for Waziri Adamawa Atiku Abubakar has done him a disservice, because the strategy that he's talking about, the arithmetic that he's talking about, is an arithmetic that points only in one direction, in the direction of Atiku Abubakar, and that must be called out for precisely what it is.